Boxing Bros UK, larger than life, massive.
Hello everybody, this is Boxing Bros UK here. I am the boss Chris. This is my co-host Andrew, the Boxing Brain. Topic of the day is Callum Simpson post-fight review, baby.
Zucco? How'd you say his name?
Zucco.
Zucco, that's it, yeah.
So, firstly, that Zucco, he didn't come here to fuck about. He was game.
Ambition.
He came to win, and he hits hard, very tenacious, good fighter. So, first comes out, they're going at it. He gets caught with a flash knockdown, and the recovery powers good. Some people scored it a 10-9, not a 10-8, because he nearly knocked Zucco out in that first round, and takes a special fighter, and he's got quick recovery powers. He got up and he stuck it on him straight away. And then because a lot of people were complaining that why is he just going mental in these first rounds? But I know why, because he's 2 points down. So he caught, instead of boxing, he might get caught again. Let me run at this guy and just make it a war for a few rounds and win my 2 points back. So it was a bit of a war. It was a bit untidy. He was smothering his work at times, but he was very, very good on the inside. Very, very good, especially for a big man. And then then he got knocked down again because he took that risk. Another flash knockdown. So he was going hell for leather. Once he'd thought, right, I'm back in front, or it's a draw now, he made the adjustment, went to his boxing, and won every single round and stopped him.
Yeah.
That's how the
Did
fight
the job. Things to learn from there. They weren't there things to learn. I saw that was a 10-9. A lot of people had that first round as a 10-9. So that does show the resilience, because, you know, Zucco definitely could punch a little bit. So he ticked a few boxes, didn't he? You know, chin check, some resilience. Obviously, 168. We got 6'8" outside of Canelo. There ain't really much in there. We've said this. It's not a great super middleweight division, is it? You know,
Canelo killed it off.
Yeah, you know, you got Belanga in there. You got Munguia, Sarachi. You know, Sarace. You know, it's not one. So, you know, he can maybe. But I wasn't sure about him. I didn't even know this bloody fight was on. I'd completely sort of missed the boat on it. And then, yeah, I mean, where would you? I mean, he's got the European title now, isn't he? You know, so he's clearly at European level. I know he called out Hamza Shiraz. We'll maybe talk about that at the end. But where do you think this guy can potentially win a world title if Canelo retires eventually?
Yeah,
you know,
1,000,000% he can definitely win a world title, because he's showed he's got the chin, he's got the heart, he's got the recovery, and he's even shown he's got title winning mentality. So when you get knocked down, they can think, right, this guy hits hard, let's get back to our boxing. He didn't have that. He said, right, I'm 2 points down now, so I need to guarantee that I'm getting them 2 points back. So I need to make sure I win the next 2 rounds, not by boxing and hoping, like I'm going at him. And then obviously he took that risk. I'm winning them 2 points back. And then it happened again because he was being so reckless. But it just shows he's got the winning mentality. Like, you knock me down, okay, I need to get them points back. And he made the adjustment. So after he was doing well in them wars, but he was getting hit a lot, he made the adjustment, and he got, I think, the last 3 or 4 rounds, he just outboxed him and then fought in a war when he had to. And he made the adjustment. So he's got all the potential, all the skills to become a world champion. He just needs to tidy up when he gets a bit excited. He does smother his work at times because he's so big. Just tidy up the defense, get a bit more disciplined, and stay a bit more switched on, and he can go places. 100% he can win a world title.
He's also got the capacity, Chris, to maybe go up to 175, maybe even cruiserweight. I said to you off air when we didn't actually, we were going to interview him actually. He was at the Daniel Dubois Park at Biterbi Bivol presser, and I remember looking. I mean, you know, Chris is 6 foot. I'm about 6'4", and I remember thinking, fucking hell, he's big for a middle super middleweight, a bit like Shiraz, but he's got a frame that could put on the muscle and some bulk. Shiraz has got the height, but Callum Simpson looks like he's got the skeletal structure that he could maybe go up to cruiserweight, Chris, dare I say. But perhaps, just chucking that out there.
And
maybe
only,
another two
he's only
weight
young
divisions.
as well. So I think,
How
hell
old
yeah.
is he, Chris? How old is he? Mid-20s, is he?
Yeah, mid-20s, yeah. I think he's like 27.
Oh, mate, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think, look, the problem is, Chris, Canelo's probably going to stranglehold the division for another 3 or 4 years, and he's got that experience where I don't know, he'd probably still beat Callum Simpson even in the next 2 or 3. I don't know if I'm not suggesting Simpson's going to get that fight. I don't think Canelo is what he was, but I still think he's got that kind of IQ. He knows how to kind of navigate. Plus, he's the A side, Chris.
Yeah.
And he'd probably have to go to Mexico to fight him and get done over by the judges anyway. So it's one of them.
I think,
you know what I mean?
If you look at the landscape, this is how I see it. So Canelo's undisputed. He's going to fight Crawford for undisputed. Let's say he beats Crawford, yeah? Then he's going to fight a Eubank Jr. or he might fight, who's the kid
100%.
that knocked out David Plant the other day, or beat Plant?
Calipla. Oh, Resendiz.
Resendiz. So he'll have that one fight. Then that's all his fight contract with Turkey done. So then
Good shout. He might retire.
He'll retire. So then the belts are free.
Dispersed.
Shiraz is going to want to try and get a belt, move up to
Good shout.
Chris Eubank Jr. is going to try. They're all going to be like vultures trying to win titles. That's the time.
Do you think that's why? Do you think that's why Shiraz has gone up to 168 as well? Because he sees the landscape down the line.
Yeah, exactly. And he could get Canelo's last fight. I doubt it because Canelo don't want to fight young, hungry fighters.
No money in it for him, isn't there?
There's no money, and he might lose.
So just kind of, listen, is there anything you wanted to add? Just, I know he called out Hamza Shiraz. Look, again, we go off previous performances, and you said this to me on the phone yesterday. I agree. Hamza Shiraz looked a little bit gun-shy against Adamez. We don't know if that's maybe kind of told us something about Shiraz overthinking it. Maybe I am, but when he's in there with a high-level operator, we'll know a bit more with Berlanga, because Berlanga can punch a bit at 168. I know he's sort of come, because Berlanga was at middleweight, wasn't he? I think he come up from middleweight, I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that,
did,
but I think he did. But he was a bit of a bully at middleweight. I know that. But we'll see. If we see a situation with Berlanga, this is where I'm going, Chris, where he sort of just keeps his guard, caution first, doesn't really let his hands go. He's a bit worried about what's coming back from Berlanga, and Berlanga sneaks a win there. Or if Shiraz sneaks a win, but he stinks a place out a bit, that's a very winnable fight for Callum Simpson. Absolutely.
And what Hamza Shiraz has shown us, he could change it. That when the going gets tough, he goes into sparring mode, or he just ties up. Like he hasn't got that dog in him. He showed me. It's not even just his last performance. The one that he fought on in Saudi, when he fought, who did he fight? That short
Otto Williams or do you mean Tyler Denny or the one
Williams?
Otto Williams, yeah.
Otto Williams was sticking it on him, yeah, and very
good. Williams, sorry.
Yeah, very good. He was tying him up, yeah, but he didn't show he had that dog in him where he was getting hurt. It was just, and it works that time, because when he's fighting someone the same size as him, he's not going to be able to tie them up as easy. You ain't going to be able to do it. And Callum Smith's physically stronger than him, because he's going to be moving up. He's not going to be able to do that, so he's going to have that dog in him and fight back. And he showed me that he hasn't got it in him. He just ties you up, goes into sparring mode, stays away, stays on the outside, kind of runs a bit, runs out. He ain't got that dog.
Callum Simpson's just as big as him, if not bigger, has shown resilience, has shown that because Zucco was in there, like you say, game in this fight. I mean, maybe because there was a time where, like, Hamza Shiraz, TalkSport would call him out, he's the biggest prospect we've seen in years, and now we're like, oh yeah, maybe not. But this is what it's like in boxing, though, isn't it?
He's only as good as your last fight. And when you get in fights that are top level, and we see how you answer them questions, then that's it. So you either change it, or that's just not in you at all. It's like Vladimir Klitschko. Can't fight on the inside. Never been able to fight on the inside. Doesn't really have that dog in him, Klitschko. Like we've seen it against AJ. That's the only time we've seen it, and that was at the end of his career. All the other times, we never seen it.
Yeah.
He was just control. What he was good at, he perfected. Holding, double jab, right hand, lead left hook sometimes. He was good at them, and he perfected that, and he reigned for 10 years. So You don't have to have everything in your arsenal. Boxers have a variety of all different skills. So what we're just seeing, he ain't got that dog in him. He hasn't got it in him. He don't. He just likes to win by controlling it, or if he's having a bad time, he'll tie you up and run away.
So in conclusion, rounding it up, because we saw Tyler Denny was the European champion at the time get that shot on a Riyadh card, or I think it was on a Riyadh card against Hamza Shiraz. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember now. You know, Callum Simpson's European champion now, clearly fancies that fight. Great domestic dust up. Good, decent money for both. That's got to be the fight next for Callum Simpson, surely. Now he's got that European belt, surely.
Yeah, definitely. What fight's that, sorry? What, the Shiraz?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. But when's Shiraz fighting next, though? Belanga, when's he fighting him?
He's fighting Belanga in, it's got to be in the next 2 to 3 months, isn't it? Summer's coming up.
The thing is, that means he's going to, because he needs to stay active, he's going to have another fight in between.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, because then by the time Shiraz is ready, it won't be sort of end of the year, will it? Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. There's plenty of fights that one could say.
It's just because he's with Ben Shalom, it's going to be really hard for him to get fights with other super middleweights. Do you know? Maybe. Oh, yeah. So the only thing is, maybe High Munguia, he's drug banned. Or that Resindle, who's just beat Caleb Plant. Fight him.
Well, yeah, Caleb Plant, yeah.
He's not fought someone very, very skillful. Mexican guy. They always come over and fucking beat us Brits whenever they come over. We've got a bad record against them. So having a fight against that style could work for him. And his bigger practice, I think that could be a good fight. I don't like people to fight people on a loss, but I'd say maybe Caleb Plant to redeem himself.
Yeah.
You know, there's loads of
bring him over here,
for him, but he needs to be fighting top 10. Who?
That would do. Caleb Plant would do well at something like the O2 over here. Caleb Plant's a bit of a name. I could see that. There's options out there for him, but Lee, let us know in the comments if there's anyone you think.
Yeah,
you know,
comment.
Yeah.
So what fights you think are good for him?
All right. Like and subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Buy a t-shirt.
You know.